Hello everyone, welcome to today's video where I will be reviewing my own Genshin Impact account. I'm currently AR 56 and I would like to show you all the units I've built so far, talk about why I've built them and why I play them, and in general have you take a peek into what my account looks like after about a year of playing, both actively and inactively, and also what kind of units I use in these YouTube videos. So let's go! To begin with the unit I probably use the most, and one of the most loved and or hated characters in Genshin Impact, we have Tartaglia. I love playing Tartaglia simply because he is so fast in his gameplay, and he can be used in a lot of teams because he constantly applies Hydro. He's the only character in the game where I specifically pulled on for the banner to get the Pole Star, because I really wanted the crit chance from the Pole Star, and because the Rust just wasn't doing it for me in his build as well, as crit rate is so important for a child, and the Pole Star fits him quite well. So to upgrade my favorite boy, I decided to pull the weapon for him, which regrettably did take a lot of pulls. Now his artifact set is a little bit scuffed, because he is on 4-piece Shimagawas. Now the individual pieces of Shimagawas have alright substats, where there is good crit damage to crit rate ratios, but realistically, I would really like some better artifact pieces for my child. The Hydro damage piece is the off piece, which rolled alright and has 1 roll crit damage, 1 roll crit rate, and a bit of flat attack going for it. While I'm also rocking a crit rate crown, because it's just so difficult to come among these. I want to swap him to 2-piece Shimagawa's 2-piece Heart of Depths, so we get the Hydro damage from the Heart of Depths, if I can find it here in the list really quickly. The Heart of Depths. There it is. So I can get this 15% Hydro damage. And when I have finished this build, I would like to use the 4-piece. But currently I simply can't, as I haven't been able to farm enough pieces. So I'm going to use the Shimagawas. And I could maybe phase him into either Heart of Depths or Gladiator in the future. His talents are both level 10. And his normal attack only affects the Riptide damage. Now I do still want to level this up to 10 as well with how frequently I use Tartaglia. So I'll be working on leveling this talent up to 10. But for the rest he is quite well built, with a very good crit ratio, just slightly low crit damage, which I would really like to see a little bit higher, but good attack overall, sitting at 2.4k. Now together with Child we have Xiangling. Xiangling is the actual damage dealer in the Child comp, as she constantly procs vaporizes with her Pyronado. Now for Xiangling, I'm using the Ketane Cross Spear, simply for its convenience. It's craftable, it does a lot of elemental skill damage on its passive, which is nice if you refine it a bit, and the elemental mastery helps. For the future, I would like to swap her onto a Wave Breaker's Fin. I will need to get a little bit more energy recharge on her kit, or if I get super lucky I get a 5-star spear to put on my shogun, and then I can put her on the catch. But for now she is on the Ketane Cross Spear, using the Emblem of Severed Fate set. All her emblem pieces are quite nice, starting with the flower, with some good, I would wanted a good mix of elemental mastery, attack and crit rate on her. Add some energy recharge, of course. Here we have basically all the stats I want on my Xiangling. The attack percent sense with a bit of defense, but all in all very good stats, a lot of energy recharge to really get his ults out. The off piece is a pyro damage bonus piece. This rolled a ton of flat defense, so this would I would like to give this replacing in the future. And then we unfortunately have a purple crit rate piece, because I farmed Emblem a ton. I advocate for Emblem in a lot of my videos because it's so universal. But I literally have 2 crit rate pieces. And the rest is just not crit rate. So unfortunately currently she's still on a purple piece. But hopefully in the future we can put her on a golden piece, as I use her a ton. She has C6. Oh, Child is C0 by the way. She has C6, so she has a lot of bonus from the constellations. And her Pyronado is max level, with Guoba 2 levels behind. All in all, her stats are decent, but this can definitely see some improvement. But she is usable in Abyss 6, and the Child comp is quite good. So for this build, it's alright. There's a lot of room to improve, but she definitely puts the work down. And now over to the Shogun. Shogun is also one of my favorite units to use on my second team, where I don't use Child in the Abyss. The Shogun is an absolutely OP unit and she is just insane, both with the energy recharge she provides and the general utility. I'm using the catch, which I still need to refine, I'm so sorry, I'll get to this. Because fishing, it's a fun system, it's quite chill. But it's not that engaging, right? So I need to simply put my mind to fishing for a bit. She does have 4-piece emblem, where I have a lot of energy recharge because it's a Shogun. Some good pieces here. This piece is quite nice, even though elemental mastery on the Shogun doesn't really do a lot. So I would like to replace these pieces with better stats. Then we have an attack sense with reasonably good energy recharge. Again, a lot of EM. And attack goblet as well, as her electro damage is high enough from all the energy recharge. I'm still farming a ton of emblem to upgrade these pieces, but they're good enough for now to really get some damage in. And then a crit rate off piece, which is actually quite nice. The only unfortunate thing is the death roll, but this is a quite nice piece for the show. And that all comes down to having a reasonable crit rate crit damage ratio, probably a lot more crit damage. 250 the energy recharge, which gives her 60% electro damage. And she also gets a lot more powerful because I wailed on this banner. I was very down bad for the Shogun. The Shogun is just, it's so fun to use her. The ultimate does so much damage, it's so engaging. So I got kind of convinced myself to just pull on this banner really hard. Get her entire way to C3, which is not my proudest moment to be honest. But it's there. She hits like an absolute trick, partially because of the C3. Because the build can definitely be slightly better. Her talents are maxed. Except the basic attack, because you don't use the Shogun to basic attack. With the C3, the ult is level 13, which is great. And all in all, she just provides so much utility in a team. The Shogun is insane. We all know she's insane, and she's a great unit. Now next up is a unit I'm still working on, which is Bennett. Now Bennett, everyone knows what Bennett does. Bennett heals, and Bennett does give a massive attack boost. Now don't look too good at the weapon, but currently he's using the Black Sword, which is not good on Bennett. It's not. Because of the low base attack, the Black Sword is quite bad. But currently, with my resources, it's my only sword that's level 90 that I could slap on him. So for now he's on the Black Sword, but preferably you would want Prototype Rancor on him. But I'm secretly kind of hoping to get a 5-star weapon to put on Bennett. As from the standard banner or something, if I get a 5-star, I'm slapping it on Bennett, just because he's that good. Also the crit rate from Black Sword does help a little bit with dealing damage, as he can crit enemies in my current build, and his ult can hit like 30k, which is quite big. But the Black Sword is not that good on him, so I would like to replace this. Now he's on a Noblesse Oblige set. And for Noblesse Oblige, it's not that strict what you put on Bennett. Bennett kinda, he doesn't need the artifacts for his damage increase, he needs the artifacts for his energy recharge. And you can also get healing bonus on him. So for the Noblesse Oblige, I have some pieces that are kind of insane. Like look at this flower. It's kind of nuts. It has really good crit damage. This feather as well. Good crit damage. And then I put him on an energy recharge piece with good crit damage, a lot of HP, so he heals a bit more. Because he does want the HP. HP% goblet with, again, just really good damage stats. And then a healing bonus crown, so he can really heal my team up. I could replace this later for a crit damage crown or a crit rate crown, so he keeps hitting those reasonably big crits. But on a vape, my bandit can actually hit quite hard with his S3. He's C1, as I haven't pulled a lot of bandits off the banner, but C1 definitely helps. And I would like to get him to C5, not C6 though, but that's still a long way to go. His ultimate's level 9, so it needs one more level. Which I could just, you know, we'll do it live in the video. There we go. His ultimate's level 10. His ultimate's just great. It gives you a massive damage boost. It's insane. Bennett is also great. He's just such a reliable character. Everyone uses him. You know why. Attack boost and good healing. He's a double character in one. So my Bennett could use some improvement, but all in all, he's not that strict on the build, so I can use him fine.
Where did that come from?
Next up is Zhongli. Zhongli is my shielder boy. Now, Zhongli is just great for one thing, shielding, but I also kind of built him so that his ult can land some reasonable hits. I put him on Favonius Lance so he can help the team with energy recharge, as I have him on a reasonable crit build, and the Favonius lance really helps with just getting energy around in the team. And I couldn't really think I could put him on an HP percent lance, but I had an R5 Favonius laying around because look at how many Favoniuses. And I just wanted to use it on Zhongli with the energy recharge. He's on a tenacity of the middle lift set. Regrettably, it's not the best set yet because artifact farming just takes a very long time in Genshin Impact. But it takes him around. This one has some really good crit rate at 70%. Woohee. HP percent piece on the sands. And then I think a geo damage off piece on the goblet. So his meteorite and pillar hits a little bit harder. And then a crit damage piece on the helmet. And that all attributes to him having 40% crit rate and 135 crit damage. So when the meteorite crits, it does reasonably good damage. And then 75 geo damage. He has no constellations, as I don't think Zhongli needs constellations. I mean, another pillar is okay. I wouldn't pull for Zhongli's constellations very fast. His planet B-fall is level 10 because I really like pressing it. It's such a fun ult. And his shield's level 9. I should level this up to level 10 because his shield is just the main reason you're using him, right? And the elemental resistance being stripped off is also really great. Now next up is Hu Tao. Hu Tao is currently landing her spear, her deathmatch to Zhao, but I'll swap back to it for a second, as Zhao is new. But my Hu Tao is alright. Hu Tao is just fun. It's fun dashing around with her. Her artifacts are a reasonable Shimagawa set with some reasonable HP crit damage. Here we have a really good pyro damage piece. I kind of wanted to put this on Zhangling, but I also would like to use Hu Tao. And it's a good off piece. This one I wish it didn't roll so big into defense percent, I could use replacing. This piece is alright. Flat HP is not optimal, but the stats are reasonable for Hu Tao. And this piece as well. The thing is, Hu Tao can use a lot of stats, so she can be built quite universally. I don't have C1, so I can dash like a madman. And her talents still need some leveling, as they're 7, 8, 6. But my Hu Tao, she's fun. I really like dashing around with her. And she has a really good crit rate, crit damage ratio. Uniquely for most of my characters who are still a bit out of balance. I like using her in the vape comp. She's just a happy chestnut that dashes around a lot, and it's good fun. And also she has the funny idle dance. Now onto a more unique character. My Traveler, also known as Too Lazy to Level. If you've seen my Traveler series, I'm trying to build this guy to be quite strong. And this might be a bit of a spoiler because episode 3 isn't out yet. But currently he is on a Favonius sword, which is R5 level 80. Needs to still be upgraded to level 90. And his artifacts are the VV Swirl set, because he's really on a support build. Now if we look at the set, the artifacts can definitely use a lot of improvement, because I haven't farmed a VV set that much yet. With Kazuo banner coming up. This is a purple Elemental Mastery sand. And here we have a Elemental Mastery goblet, which is actually quite nice for the adventure with good crit rate, crit damage. And then a crit rate crown, because this is the only good crit rate crown I got, and it rolled a lot in the defensive stat. He has the constellation the big C6 that makes him reduce anemo res, which is really nice for Zhao. You can just gain these as a free to play, you just get them through playing the game. And his talents definitely need a bit more leveling. His stand's level 7, this one's level 4, but they get boosted by 3 on the constellations. So his talents could definitely use a little bit more love. So what ends up happening? We have 380 for Elemental Mastery, so we can swirl a lot. And then 45 crit rate and 100 crit damage with almost 200 energy recharge. He is quite a good unit and I really like using him. The tornado is better than people expect. It grips alright, except against massive enemies, it just does nothing. You can reasonably swirl with his E, and he's an alright anemo unit. I really like the series I've made around him, and I hope to be able to beat Abyss 12 with him soon for the 3rd or 4th episode on that series. Now another 5-star I use a lot is Eula. Now Eula is very dependable. I should level her up further, to be honest. She deserves to be 90 with how much I use it. She's just a hard hitter. She just hits enemies hard. Her kit, you are kind of walking around a big bomb in a very clunky way. But she's good fun. She's using the Serpent Spine from the Season Pass because it's kind of the best weapon ever. I have a lot of these range slashers. Might make a range slasher to look, not gonna lie. But the Serpent Spine is quite nice. Could also use the Akumaru. It looks so good on her. Like this is perfect. But for my current build, I really needed a crit rate. I have her on 2-piece Pale Flame and 2-piece Wanderer's Troop. Now you might think, what? What? But the reason I have done this is because the offset pieces were really good. And I'm currently still looking at getting one more piece of Chivalry. To get it from the Artifact Strongbox, it's more efficient than farming set specifically. And once I get it from the Artifact Strongbox, I will put it on her. This piece is quite alright. This feather, 35 crit damage. Oh, amazing. I really like this piece. Probably one of the best pieces I have. Then we have an attack percent sense, of course, it's Eula. Not that good of stats though. And now why do we have Wanderer's Troop? Well, it's one of the only sets where I have physical damage bonus that rolled okay with some like crit rate and attack. And also a crit rate crown with crit damage attack. I would like to replace this in the future, but the substats are right, and it gets me the stats I need, so that 25% crit damage, physical damage I'm missing out is alright. No constellations, and her talents are 9, 7, 7. You kind of want Eula to be 10, 10, 10, and I should definitely 10, 10, 10 her with how much I'm using this character, because she is very universal. You can just slap her with Raiden and it's great. But her crit damage ratio is great. 82 to 163 is exactly what I was kind of looking for. And I just hope to be able to maintain this crit rate to crit damage ratio on the Wanderer's Troop set. With good physical damage bonus. Could definitely be a tiny bit more. But I'm kind of satisfied with her. I'm gonna slowly upgrade her over time. Now to Xiao. Xiao is quite new. Now let's give him the deathmatch that he was landing. I'm just using Xiao for fun. He's such a fun unit. He's such a little fast boy. He's a ton of fun to play. And I think my Xiao is still in need of a better build. But for now, I just have him on a I want to play him set where he has really high crit rate and not that good crit damage. Yeah, I'm currently just using Xiao because I think he's a lot of fun. He zips around over the place, it's good. As you can see, he doesn't really have a complete artifact set. His flower is alright. But I mostly just put them on pieces that I had laying around that had some good substats. Like this Electro piece, good crit damage, some energy recharge. This Anemo piece, it's a good Anemo damage, but it's not really that glorious on Xiao. A crit rate. Oh, here's my second crit rate 7 helm, but it's got like attack roll. It's not that amazing. So Xiao, I'm just having him for fun at the moment because I just pulled up. He's 747. No constellation. And I'm definitely gonna upgrade him soon, but I only pulled him on the recent rerun. So we're still working on this character, but he's a big recommend. He's a ton of fun to play. Then to a character that I might have a little bit of a harder time recommending. Yay Miko. I liked Yay on release. Sure, her aesthetic, ult and everything is really cool. She just plays a little bit slow, clunky, and maybe I still need to get used to it. But for that reason, I do have a Skyward Atlas. These are my mistakes. I do have a Skyward Atlas on her, which I quite like to use. But her artifact set is just gibberish. These are unenhanced artifacts. She did have some emblem pieces before that were better, like these. But realistically, she wasn't very well built. I've never really put in the time to properly build my Yay. And she is just missing out on any good pieces at the moment. Unfortunately, I would like to put some more time into actually getting a good Yay, but she feels a bit clunky to play around. The elemental burst does look really cool though, and I have all the materials. I kinda need to level it now. So, in the future, I'm expecting to see a better build Yay, as I had her build okay, but I want her to reach more of her potential. I used Keqing a lot in the mid and early game, and I got her quite early off the standard banner. Keqing is good. I mean, she's fun. She's very fast, very flashy. She's currently not built anymore on my account. But if you're in the early mid game, or you just really like Keqing, don't feel ashamed for playing her. She could get a lot better with Dendro as well. She's a good character, like design wise she's good. She's just fun, feels responsive, feels fast. The ult's also very satisfying to use. I'm not using her anymore simply because I kind of have a lot of 5 stars that I love using that are slightly more effective at clearing the abyss. And I liked using Kaching, I kind of want to build her again. But with my current resources, maybe once my roster is better, I will upgrade my Kaching. My Leona's build. Leona's a good shielder. She does her job quite nicely of just shielding your team from any threat. And mine is on a good sacrificial bow. Full piece 4 piece Noblesse Oblige. Her build is not that insane, but she gets the job kinda done. She has some pieces, some energy recharge, some HP percent here and there, some elemental mastery, a little bit of HP percent on the sands, some HP percent on the urn, it can still be leveled as well. And healing bonus on the crown. Her pieces aren't maxed yet, but all in all, she works nicely in Abyss. I should probably max her out, get her a bit more energy recharge. But she's really just there to plonk down the shield. And I got her C6 because Raiden Shogun banner. And her C6 is kind of insane, where you get a lot more elemental mastery. Unfortunately, you can't combine this with Utao. But this is already enough reason to use her, because she becomes sort of a bandit where she both heals and gives your party a offensive buff, which is quite good. So my Diona's built, but she can definitely be a little bit better. Now talking about attack boosters, Kujo Sara. I really like using Kujo Sara. You wouldn't expect a C3 Raiden to not use Kujo Sara, right guys? So C6, because Raiden banner. And she's on Emblem of Severed Fate. She's not on good artifacts at all, but just like Bennett, she's not dependent off of them. She is dependent of her weapon, and I would actually like her to build her so that her Tengu Strike, this ability, hits quite hard, because it's got a really good damage multiplier. 740% is nothing to scoff at. So for now her artifact set is a bit of a joke, as we have 2 max pieces and then a energy recharge sands that just does nothing, and 2 empty pieces just to get the emblem set. So I'm currently still farming for Kujo Sara. I'm planning to max her, because I use her a lot together with Bennett in the other team. And she's just a great character to have in Genshin Impact. I would recommend you, if you have a C6, which is quite a task, to use her, but even at C1 she's good in another team next to Ben. Ningguang. I have my Ningguang build. Bit of a work in progress project, but I got the Memory of Dust pulling on the tartaglia weapon better. And it's quite good on Ningguang. It's not that good of a weapon itself, but it's quite nice on Ningguang. Then we have 2-piece Archaic Petra and 2-piece Shimagawas, which is quite desirable. I don't know why. Oh, I know why I haven't maxed this yet. The substats aren't that great. But here we have Archaic Petra Flower. This is a really good offset VV piece for now. Attack percent sense. Again, if all of these pieces were maxed, I feel like she would be built a little bit better. I might want to do that. Geo damage bonus. And then crit rate Archaic Petra, which elemental mastery doesn't really do anything. But it's still a crit rate piece. And that ends up giving her 50% crit rate and 80% crit damage. A lot of ground to improve here, but that's the basis, so I can use it. She's C2, so I can use the wall twice. And her talents are 4, 6, 7. I occasionally use her. On those defense stages, she's quite nice. It's not too critical about the build as well. Those defense stages in Abyss, you can wall the enemies off nicely. It's good. I would like to improve her, just like I would like to improve every unit in my roster. But she's not a priority in that respect for now. Sucrose is unbailed because of this bad boy. Sucrose is amazing. I mean, if you have a Sucrose, I would recommend building her if you don't have Kazuha. She's a good unit. She does a lot of stuff, but mine is currently not being used. I think Beidou is one of the most fun 4-stars in the game, but I think I sacrificed her build a little bit. And she's on Emblem, a reasonably good Emblem build, and her build kind of makes sense and it does the job, but she needs a couple of pieces returned as she's lending them out at the moment. Beidou is good fun. I have her talents leveled up to a decent level, and I do have a C6. To anyone that has Beidou, I would recommend giving her a shot, because the parry mechanic is just so much fun. If you have the Aku Maru, it's also quite good on her. So currently, I used to use her a lot before, but she is on the shelf, just like most units in this section. Chichi is an okay healer, but she's not really built. I do have a C1, unfortunately. She's alright. She does healing, but Bennett does her job and better. Ayaka, I pulled Ayaka on that infinite Ayaka banner, but I pulled Ayaka at the same time I was making the series for this bad boy. So I kind of dedicated my resin towards my adventure. And Ayaka has kind of been shelved for a little bit. She's not built, she's level 60, but I definitely plan to use her in the future. Ayaka might be the best cryo damage dealer in the game, if not the best damage dealer in the game. She is nuts. She's kind of a... She can be clunky on the ult, but her character is cool. She's fun all in all, the dash is alright. And I can't wait to have a video made or just build her and use her in the following videos. Now this is a bit of a sin. My Jin Cho should really be 80 or 90 at this point. He is built, he has a sacrificial sword, he's running an emblem set which is again mixed with some +0 pieces. I don't use him that often because I usually do use a team with Chal. So my Jin Cho takes a little bit less priority. But he's amazing, this character's really good. Mine is not that built and he's a bit of a work in progress. But I'm happy I have him. I have him C3. And I would like to AT him. But for now, I would recommend anyone that has his intro to just build him. He is even good together with Tartaglia. Build this character. Which is my advice to myself. Barbara is not built because I have bad healers. Yunjin is not built because I haven't really given her a chance yet. I think she's good with Tartaglia. He's kind of good support. But I haven't given her a chance to shine yet. Rosaria is not built, Chungyun, Lisa. I think none of these characters are built. And these are just your usual 4 stars that you might encounter in the game. There is a Diluc here. I could make a range slasher Diluc. I feel like that would be cool. But for now, I have Hu Tao, so I'm not that interested in using him. Even though he is a very cool character. And then we have a couple more remaining 4 stars. So as you can see, my account still needs a lot of work. There's a lot of characters here that could use some form of improvement or change. But I'm quite satisfied with what I've accomplished so far. And I'm working hard to get all the artifact sets right. To just farm as efficiently as I can. Because that Shimagawa emblem domain, I can still get so much value from to get some pieces, better pieces on my Shogun, my Zhangling. Some better pieces for maybe Eula. Oh no, from the artifact stronghold box. Some better pieces on my Kujusara so I can build her because she's so damn cool. Some better pieces on my Beidou. And I would love to upgrade these units and showcase them all in Abyss to you later. But all in all, that is my account in its entirety and every character I've talked about. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I gave you some insight in how exactly my account looks. And I will see you again later. Goodbye and have a nice day.